Today I want to share with you the answer to all of your problems. Doesn't that sound awesome? Like the answer. I don't even know what your problem is, but I can tell you that I have the answer. If this interests you, stay tuned. First of all, get very clear on what your problem is. And I'm putting problem in air quotes because we always think that we have problems in our life, but the problem is never the problem. The problem is a symptom of what you're feeling. And what you're feeling is creating an experience. And this experience is what you are thinking of as a problem. Okay, so let's take a problem that is very, very common. Let's say you want to get healthier. That's a really common problem. People come to me and they say, I've been working on this and it's not working for me and I don't have the stick-to-itiveness and I keep giving up and I don't know what to do and I feel so frustrated. If you pay attention to the words that I just chose, frustrated, problem, they're upset. These are feelings. And in all my videos, every one of them, I'm always talking about feelings. Your feelings are driving the bus of your life. Now, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling shameful, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling unheard, unseen, not validated, if you're feeling distrustful, if you are feeling those on a very deep level, you are going to attract experiences into your life so that you can continue to feel those feelings. See, that's what the law of attraction is. People are always talking about the law of attraction, like, ooh, I'm going to attract money, and ooh, I'm going to say affirmations, and all of my problems are going to be solved. But it's really important to understand how to attract. We attract with our feelings. So whatever you're feeling, that's the vibration that you're sending out there. And the universe, it doesn't know right or wrong, good or bad. It simply feels what you're feeling, and because you're feeling something specific, the universe says, let's give her more, let's give him more, because obviously this person wants to feel this feeling. Does that make sense? So if you are challenged with something or what you call a problem and you're so over it and you're ready to get rid of it, sit down and pay attention to what you're feeling. Now, I'll give you an example. For me, let me tell you, when I learned this, it was a game changer for me because I really didn't understand the law of attraction. I really was, just listening to a lot of the hype that was out there. And, people always talk about the law of attraction when you want to attract money and, I don't know, great relationships into your life, but they don't really talk about how we attract. So it's important that we understand how we attract, how we manifest, and we do that through our feelings. So for me, coming from the childhood that I came from, it was a very traumatic childhood with verbal abuse, physical abuse that escalated to sexual abuse by the age of 12. So the feelings for me that went along with that sexual abuse and that just that trauma all the time was anger, feeling like a victim, feeling guilty, feeling shameful, feeling very unworthy. Those were the feelings that were constantly running through me, always, always. But you see, those feelings felt, again, air quotes, normal to me. It made sense to me, right? Because I had been through all of this and I experienced that, these feelings were normal to me. And when I started to understand the law of attraction and how it really works, I understood that the more shameful I felt, the more guilty I felt, the more worthless I felt, the more unloved I felt, the universe had no choice but to continue to send me experiences to keep feeding those feelings. Does this make sense? So if you really are ready to let go of something, pay attention to your feelings. Know what you're feeling. And then really, really pay attention to the words that you're using, the thoughts you're thinking, and the words that you're speaking. Because whatever thoughts you're thinking, when something bothers us, what do, right? We get out there and we complain to somebody. Oh my gosh, I was driving to work and some jerk cut me off on the freeway, and I almost rear-ended somebody, and we go on and we talk about that. So think about the feelings that go into that story, which is why for years I've always talked about go beyond your story. Think about, what is your story? What do you share with people over and over and over? What do you tell people over and over and over? What has become your story that is so full of negative feelings and emotions that you just are wound up really tight, like this tight little ball inside of you? And you can't help but attract anything but the problems that you're attracting into your life. So if you're feeling unworthy, shameful, guilty, remorseful, worthless, like a victim, and all of these experiences are coming into your life, like bad relationships and unfulfilling relationships, lack of any kind, lack of love, lack of financial support, lack of your career, lack of food, lack of whatever lack you're experiencing, lack of happiness, lack of joy, lack of feeling fabulous. If you are having challenges believing that you are all of that and a box of chocolates, because trust me, you are, start paying attention to your feelings. And here's the thing. Most of us don't really know what we want. We say we want something specifically, like, I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be in this crappy relationship. But you see, everything you're concentrating on is what you don't want. And what you don't want has those negative feelings. Remember those vibrations. And that's what you're sending out there. And the universe, it doesn't matter if you're a nice person, a bad person. It doesn't matter if you're kind to people or unkind to people. The universe simply works by the law of attraction based on what you're feeling. So what are you putting out there? And knowing this, once you know this, now you understand you must take responsibility for who you are, for the thoughts you think, for the words you speak, for the actions you take. You must take 100% responsibility. And because until you do, as long as you're blaming outside sources like, oh, because of my parents, I have this crappy life. Oh, because of my boss, I don't have the job that I like. Oh, because my friends can't get it together. When you're blaming someone else, again, what are you doing? You are putting all of those attentions and feelings and emotions and beliefs out there onto those other people. And then you're talking about it and you're sharing it with other people. And you wonder why you're attracting the negatives into your life. You wonder why you're attracting what you do not want into your life. But most of us were never taught to really pay attention to what we want. We are taught to pay attention to what we don't want. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be out of work. All of these things that we think about, we don't want. We are concentrating on what it feels like not to have it. And when we're concentrating on what it feels like not to have it, that's where we're vibrating very low, like down here in the subterranean, right? Okay, so now what you want to do is think about what you do want. What do you want? So obviously it's the opposite of what you say you don't want, right? I don't want to be unhealthy. What do you want? I want to be healthy. Now here's the thing. When you say you want to be healthy, you might speak that, but your thoughts and your feelings, if they're concentrating on the level of not having it, you're still going to attract the not having it into your life. So the key is to sit and think about, what is it like to have it? What is it like to be healthy? Now, what would that feel like? Sit for a minute and think about that. Think about like, oh gosh, when I'm healthy, I feel good. I jump out of bed in the morning. I go for long walks. I play with my kids. I can get down on the floor and crawl around. I never run out of breath. I have a lot of energy. My mental clarity is awesome. All of these things that pertain to having really ultimate health, those are the feelings that you want to feel. Now, here's where I was challenged, and this might help you, because I used to say to myself, well, how can I not feel shameful anymore? How do I know what it feels like to not feel shameful? Because I've known shame my whole life. I've known feeling worthless my whole life. So how do I switch that? How do I flip that so that the low energy, the low vibrational feelings aren't there anymore? How do you feel healthy when you're not healthy? How do you feel rich when you look at your bank account and your eyes see something different? This is where you want to raise your vibrational energy. Now, really get this, you guys, because this is gold. This will really, really make a difference in your life. Instead of focusing on what you say you want, because your mind is still thinking on not having it, simply start paying attention to things that make you happy. I suggest to my clients that they create a happy list. And gosh, on your happy list, there should be 50 to 100 things on your list that make you happy, really happy. And after you really pay attention to what makes you happy and know why it makes you happy, because again, when you create your happy list, you don't want to create it from a standpoint of, if I had this, I would be happy. No. You want to create it from, I have experienced this and it made me happy. Like, one of the things that makes me happy is laughing. I love a good joke when a movie, something funny, something that makes me laugh. My brother and I used to kick back and laugh about things. Oh my gosh, so tears were rolling down our face. And I think about those times, and it definitely immediately like flips my switch, So if I find myself thinking about something negative and I catch it and I'm like, oh, okay, I need a happy thought. So then I think about him and I laughing together, or some of the jokes that we've shared, some of the fun times, and it immediately flips that, right? You have to have a switch flipper. You have to have something that will take you out of that. Now, here's something else to remember. As soon as you realize you're having a negative thought, don't freak out. Don't go like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to attract all these crappy things to me, because you have 16 seconds. It takes 16 seconds to focus on something and bring it into your energy space. So as soon as you're aware that you're thinking of that thing you don't want, that negative that you don't want, now if you go to a happy thought, if you have those handy, now you can say, okay, quick, I need a happy thought because I want to get rid of that. I want to reverse that. I want to flip it. When you do this, you will start to realize that you are now putting yourself in a place of feeling happier. And when you feel happy, you vibrate on a different level. And when you're vibrating on a different level, as you level up and you feel happier, all of the feel-good feelings like joy, happiness, abundance, prosperity, when you're feeling that, now you're going to attract more of that into your life. So remember, know what you don't want, know what you do want. Make sure that you have a happy list so that when you realize that you're concentrating on something, like your thoughts are wandering and all of a sudden you realize like, oh my gosh, there I go again thinking about that. Now, when you pay attention to how you're feeling, you'll realize, wow, I feel a lot better. And I truly, truly love sharing this information because it made all the difference in my life. When I realized that I no longer have to think about and feel what it felt like to be in that victim mindset, it was a game changer. So if there's something in your life that you truly, truly want to change, something negative, first of all, I want you to remember that a negative is not a bad thing. It's not good or bad. It's simply a negative feeling. Like, ooh, I would prefer not to feel like this anymore. I would prefer to flip that. I intend to flip this negative feeling into a positive feeling so that I feel happy, joyful, loving, kind, energetic, those wonderful feel-good feelings. So when you realize that you're going down there and you're feeling something that you no longer want to feel, reach for a happy thought. Reach for something. And I'm not saying that this is always easy because we have so many layers going down, down, down really deep. Think about it. We've been creating this for however many years old you are. That's how long you've been creating these feelings and these beliefs around the feelings. So be kind to yourself. It may not be something that you can do overnight. It may take years. But there's so much information out there now, and we are in such a high vibrational energy. The universe itself is in such a high vibrational energy that we are manifesting faster and faster and faster. And when you know this, doesn't it make sense to really understand how to attract less of what you don't want and more of what you do want, especially because we're attracting things so much faster now? I don't know about you, but I prefer to attract the happy, the fun, the laughter, the excitement. But remember, when you're feeling those negatives, when you realize that that's where your mind's going, don't panic, because it's simply your extended self giving you the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? This is contrast. This is what you say you don't want. So this is your opportunity. Would you like to flip that? Or do you need to be here for a little bit longer? Is it feeding a need in you somehow? Because that happens as well. Sometimes we're so conditioned to feel those negative feelings that trying to step out of it actually feels fearful. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Because we know how to manage, we know how to live our daily life in those low energy feelings. We know how to get through our day. But all of us deserve to love our day, to sail through our day, to enjoy our day, right? It should be about living, not existing. If you would like any information on this, if you would like more information about turning your negatives into positives, please visit my website, masteringyourbeliefs.com. There's a lot of information there. I can support you in whatever way you want to be supported on this. And if you're just learning this information for the first time, it might sound kind of like, what? How could that be? But it's up to you, right? This information came into your awareness for a reason. There are no accidents in the universe. There are no, oh my gosh, how did that happen? At some level, on some conscious level, you were ready for this information. Now it's up to you to decide, where do I want to take it from here? Do I want to learn more? Do I want to keep going? Do I want to say, this is a bunch of hooey, she doesn't know what she's talking about? And remember, wherever you are, that's perfect. Because whatever you need to do right now, please be kind to yourself and know that if this feels like too much information all at one time, be kind to yourself and say, I need to think about this a little bit more. But if this information is not new to you and you have been hearing it and you have been made aware of it in other ways, then maybe this is your extended self giving you the opportunity to say, would you like to learn more? So if you would like to learn more, if you have any questions, remember, ask your sensei. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.